Moving into the last few minutes of our 3-day Women and Worth Virtual Summit, a huge thank you to everyone that has taken part. I'd love to welcome Jim McCann up, who is founder of 1-800-Flowers and chairman of Worth, and also Carmen Bryan. I think she's here as well, who heads up marketing for Indeed in the USA. We just wanted to close on some and just share some reflections on what we've heard over the past few days. How are you, Carmen?
Good, I'm good. This has been a wonderful 3 days. Kudos to you and your team for being able to pull together this summit in this virtual world where we all have Zoom fatigue, and actually really inspire us and give us some new insights and learning. I mean, it's been a really, really great 3 days. I mean, it'd probably be career suicide for me not to acknowledge my leader, Chris Himes, and his conversation on Tuesday, talking about innovation. I think yesterday was really interesting as well. There was some interesting, I have all these sort of like little notes and comments of sort of, talking points about, I have my notes like beware of the danger, but don't miss the opportunity. There's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rear view. We can't unsee what we've seen. Really what makes work possible from Angela Jackson. Some really interesting things. I think today, a lot of the things that were being discussed in the conversation around tech and AI, I think is really interesting. It was Katika Roy, some of the stats that she shared were just mind-blowing around the impact of gender equality and what that has on revenue. And it was really inspiring. I was also, really surprised with the board conversation yesterday. Going into that conversation, it wasn't top of mind for me as a potential sort of aspiration, but I walked away from that really inspired. And it gave me something to aspire to. And I think the value of a summit like this is you kind of go in thinking that you're going to be very interested in certain things, and you come out finding, aspiration in really unexpected places. So, thank you and kudos to the team.
I couldn't have summed it up better. And I want to welcome Jim. Jim, I can see you there as well. How are you doing?
Doing fine. I'd like to echo what Carmen was saying there. I'm not going to suck up to Chris like she did, but well done, Carmen. But the point you made about the board panel, this is the time. And I think Anna Catalano made that point very clear yesterday. The pressure is on, and the intent of public company boards of all kinds is to get better diversity. And this is the time for women to step up and fill that breach by doing the things that was suggested by several of the panel members yesterday, to raise their hand, to prepare themselves, and to put themselves into the flow, like Anna suggested, by good relationship development without an end goal in mind, but just to keep a network of relationships that may present those opportunities. Because I serve on a few public company boards, and there's not one that isn't looking for diverse candidates. In fact, a friend of mine runs a search practice for boards at a very large search firm. And he said now he has 28 active board searches, and not one is every single one is looking for a diverse candidate, every single one. So I think business is so often the power and the force for good. And I think this is a time for women to raise their hands and get involved in that. But Carmen and Juliet, first of all, Juliet, wow. What an amazing 3 days. I'm so proud to be partnered with you, so proud of you on so many levels. You and your team did a terrific job. And Emily Segalski and Molly McClune, Mickey Wagner, Allison Calabrese. I mean, talk about a team of women that anyone could conquer the world with. You guys are it. And my hat's off to you, and a hearty congratulations for a wonderful, thought-provoking several days. And as you just said, Juliet, I think the content that comes from this that will be multiplied and amplified over the coming weeks and months in several different forms through the Worth Media will make these arguments stronger. But what I took away, Carmen, what I took away, Juliet, from these few days was some recurring themes. The importance of purpose was made clear in so many situations, whether it's in the for-profit world, the education world, the investing world, the importance of purpose. And I think in a gender-neutral world, it's not thought of or embraced or valued as much as it should be based on what I heard over the last 2 days. Secondly, the conversation today about politics and the role that women can play in the government, in government roles and in politics is so dramatically impactful in the near term that I think if women as a group want to make a difference, the light was shown on that for me, that is such an immediate opportunity to make a difference and to lead the group and community thought. And let's finish, and the last point I'll make is on that last point, which is community. The sense of community that I heard in the last 2 days, subsets of community, how women feel a natural connection and community so much more quickly, so much more inviting to craft and generate new communities. I think I come away underlining purpose and community. And I applaud you, Juliet, for crafting and creating the Women in Worth community. And so I'll end with that commercial, which is what a wonderful opportunity to continue this dialogue, to have an impact on future dialogues, and to make a difference. There's no better way I can think of right now than to becoming part of the Women in Worth community that you've created. So congratulations, Carmen. I'm glad you enjoyed it and took so much from it. I think it was an extraordinarily thought-provoking and provocative 3 days of content.
Thank you, Jim. And I appreciate the plug for the Women in Worth community as well. And we have launched our membership as well. So we would love you to join the Women in Worth membership. We'll be expanding that over the next few months as well. I think I couldn't agree more around this notion of purpose and community, but I also think if there was anything that I was left with over the last 3 days, it's just the sense of urgency that we have to do something. And the numbers are going backwards. We heard Anita say yesterday, 47 million women globally have gone into poverty over the past 6 months. 11 million women came out of the workforce between February and April. And those numbers are so stark, and I think it's the sense of community, of coming together, of powering forward. We have to work together to create progress and accelerate progress, because we know that we can work in the system, we can work out of the system, but we also know that with greater equality comes a better bottom line, a better diversity of thinking, better productivity. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the last 3 days, and I just want to say a big thank you to the Worth team as well, because they've done an extraordinary job. Carmen, I'd love just to touch on one last point from you about sort of what gives you hope coming out of this.
You know, I'm always hopeful when I see such motivated, smart women focused on the success of other women. I think it's a very inclusive approach to success, and I think women, when we've heard that over the past few days, when you help a woman, it's not just her that you're helping. You're sort of like creating opportunity for so many people around her, and so I'm really hopeful about that. And I'm also really hopeful that out of all of the strife and all the challenges that we're experiencing, that it's going to be a wake-up call for people to really get serious and real about thinking about addressing some of the serious problems that we have as a society. So that's what I'm hopeful about.
Thank you so much. Carmen, thank you. Jim, thank you. I want to just end with saying a huge thank you to all of you that have joined over the last 3 days. Your comments and feedback and engagement has really been phenomenal. We will be doing Women in Worth community sessions through our membership every month. We will be getting back together in March for another summit. It really has been a phenomenal 3 days. I'd like to say thank you again to our partners, UBS, Indeed, LG Signature and New Music USA, and to all of our amazing speakers that have given up their time over the last 3 days, and most importantly to you, our community. Look forward to seeing you all very soon. Stay safe, stay well, and keep powering forward. Thanks, everyone.